Hello, flat earthers, debaters and debunkers. Why does flat earth matter? A question that I saw in my comments recently. Obviously, it's a question that many of us have probably heard. You know, why does it matter? I still have to go to work and pay my taxes. Well, it matters a huge amount. Not just the scientific nature of measuring where we are, but of course our life is a journey of discovery, and let's just presuppose that the whole point and the whole purpose of life is to discover who you are. And in order to do that, you're going to have to see who you are not, or who you could pretend to be, or basically experience the illusion that we're born into in order to have something to compare with. So we're all asking or want to know the answers to where are we, who are we, what am I doing here, yeah? And of course we don't have the answers, we just do not know our true origins. Nobody knows. There is no scientist, no geologist, no archaeologist, no cosmologist, or anyone with an ist or an ology that can actually tell you that they know who you are and where you are and how we got here and why we're here. Yeah? Fundamental questions pertaining to our existence. Yeah? So, of course, when we don't know something, our imagination kicks in and we can make up all sorts of stories and dream up concepts because, you know, our imaginations fill in the blanks with anything really, you know, there is no story too bizarre, there is no explanation too far out, because this whole thing is a far out experience. But of course it's often kind of normalized and regular, and anyway, you know, so the problem is that, of course, a lot of the trolling that you get when it comes to flat earth is people just repeating what they were told in school. Oh, we discovered, the royal we discovered that the earth was a globe 2,000 years ago. And of course they probably can't spell Eratosthenes, so they'll have to go and look up that before they can use the actual name, but that's what they're referring to. And of course, if this character did exist, then okay, we had someone that was able to calculate the circumference of the circle of the sun, or the equator, basically the distance from the pole to the equator. It's actually fairly straightforward mathematics, I suppose, but actually going about making some kind of measurements. Of course, we're talking about measurements of shadows with sticks. So you have this assumption, the Eratosthenes measurement, and that pretty much, the rest of the globe, the rest of it is all built on that. We have a circumference determined from a radius, or a radius, and you know, by the shadows, the way the shadows change, over distances, and then you have distances that can be expressed in terms of degrees based on this assumed, or this radius, like from the North Pole to the equator, for example. You have a radius then, and then so if you have a set distance, you have a circumference that you can determine using pi, right? 3.14 times the radius times 2, or just times pi times the diameter, if you like. That would be a cross from equator to equator on opposite sides, right? So this is the fundamental so-called measurement that is the basis for the rest of the globe, and all the other, everything else is built on top of that. So we have a circle, and so we have, you know, how true or accurate that is doesn't really matter, because it's all down to a matter of interpretation. You can, if you like, consider the equator as the girth of a spheroid Earth, or you can just consider the circumference just like anything else, from the center point of a circle on a piece of paper on a flat surface going to this circle that is the equivalent to the zenith of the sun above the equator. Yeah, same thing, right? But it's on a level surface. So straight away you have something that doesn't prove anything. It's indirect evidence, and that's what you'll realize, is the globe is entirely comprised of indirect evidence, or explanations from indirect evidence, that then assume aspects of this globe model or concept, such as you know, the horizon being a curve, and so on. You know, and then you know, looking at the stars and the sun rising and setting, and saying that happens because the Earth is a spinning ball. Of course, it was, you know, in its assumption. So here we have what appears to be a kind of, they like to say, a working model, but the thing is, it doesn't work in reality. None of the things that the globe is supposed to be doing apply to our actual reality. It is purely conceptual, and it's really just based on time, telling the time from the cosmic clock in the sky. And the sun and the moon and the stars, they could be absolutely anything, and the possibilities are absolutely endless. But of course we have this, because we have also this expanding universe idea, we have this idea that, there must be a beginning point. So scientists, or not really, you know, mathematicians mostly, or theoretical physicists are the people that are doing this mostly. They're dreaming up equations and stuff, and basically mathematical ways to describe this conceptual Big Bang, or a beginning of the universe, in order to get to the point where it is now. You know, again, we're kind of basing it on this linear timeline of growth and what have you, evolution, the Big Bang, and all that jazz. That's just reminded me. You know those kind of pictures of like marine aquatic dinosaurs that you see, kind of almost like Loch Ness monster type thing, like a thing with flippers and a tail and a longish neck. I noticed, I saw some photos of, I think it's leopard seals, and these guys are pretty ferocious creatures, yeah. But they've got this, they've got these teeth, and they've actually got quite a long neck that they can swivel around and things like that, and they can really kind of stretch it out if they need to, you know, to grab a fish or whatever they need to do. They can basically turn their head around on this kind of longish neck, and you know, face backwards over their back. So I was thinking about how actually, you know, the bones, the skeleton of that kind of seal would look, and it would actually have a long neck. And of course, but we don't normally, we see the flesh, we don't see the bones, so we see the flesh. But you can imagine some paleontologist finding these bones with a rather long neck, and then assuming that you've got this spindly, thin, long fleshy neck that goes with it. where it could just be a large leopard seal. Yeah, or you have these footprints in the ground which look like they're from Triceratops, but or whatever, I can't remember, but they're three-footed. They just could be emus or what do you call them? What's the other one? Ostriches, yeah? Anyway, I digress, and time is ticking on as we get towards our destination. But you see, it is vitally important, just like any kind of other, so as we go through life, anyone that goes through life, we're all going to have awakenings of some sort. We're going to have, or at least we're going to have situations, information that comes to us that makes us stop and think. Now, whether we allow that process of thinking to continue very much depends on our disposition, personality, stubbornness, open-mindedness, these kinds of things. But basically, what I'm talking about is the general conditioning, the societal conditioning. We could take, for example, the gender identification thing at the moment, which is being pushed by a very small group of people, where this is kind of a cultural thing. Your gender is a cultural thing. How you identify is a cultural thing, but you can't really change the biological nature of your sex, right? Your male or female sex. So that's just how it is, right? But you can start identifying as all sorts of things if you want to. And of course, that's the thing. We identify with all sorts of concepts. You might identify with a certain brand of cigarettes or alcohol or lifestyle, or you might be an Apple guy or whatever. These are all things that are culturally induced. Yeah, you might identify as an executive, whatever. But most of the time, these identities and things, they're all concepts again. Yeah, they're all based on, they're not about being a real person. They are, you could call them a form of enslavement. And so, yes, we're talking about freedom. And of course, one thing that the Flat Earth does is a catalyst for really helping to free the mind from these kinds of identities. There's several things that happen, I suppose, because even to start thinking about this, you have to be able to ignore, in some sense, not be ignorant, but you have to ignore that immediate compulsion to reject the idea, which is based on a fear of going against the grain. It's not something that we're taught. I remember feeling, I was getting sweaty palms and kind of adrenaline rushes looking into some of this stuff and starting to have those realizations that, wow, when you actually research it and you look at actual science, real physics and everything, and you look at the extent of discoveries, well, the more you look at it, the more you realize that you're just dealing with, as I said, stories, indirect, circumstantial evidence. No one's actually come up with any proof. And it's the only branch of so-called science in which it seems that no proof is required. You just need circumstantial evidence or assumptions and interpretations of the things we see, without actually knowing the origins of any of those things, especially when it comes to the sun and the moon and the stars, or our Earth, or even us, and everything else on the planet, yeah? If you want to call it a planet. But this is it. There are so many aspects of it that allow you to become free, because we talk about time is an artificial construct, and of course a lot of the time we are following this schedule that's dictated to us by what, I don't know, it's obviously, I've said it before, it's convenience. I've got to go and pick up my kids at a certain time now, but So yeah, there is this aspect of our reality that is solidified in many ways, and becomes it feels so real. But you see, what you understand with the people that come along and argue with you and immediately reject things. I've actually had some people, obviously, and people that do not like the message that I'm delivering. Now think about this: whether or not you believe, you live on a globe or a flat earth or something else or a cosmic egg or whatever, discussing it and talking about it and exploring it and asking questions does not harm anyone. It does not cause any harm, except it does bruise the ego. It does affect people that have become identified with that thing, rockets and space travel and all that thing. If this is something that you feel very attached to, then you will feel that someone like me is attacking you personally, and that's because your beliefs are being attacked. But what's happened to me recently is some people have been putting fake reviews on my TripAdvisor thing, and they've been basically attacking me personally, about calling me a COVID denier, calling me an anti whatever, this, that and the other, and being very, very nasty, but basically trying to destroy my business, trying to prevent me from earning a living, an honest living. This is the extent of the hate you're dealing with. And it's that's never been my intention with any of this. It's always been to help people out, if they're open-minded enough, But the point I'm saying here is that these people that do these kinds of things will actually, who will carry on over some social media argument onto someone's business and try to destroy their business. You're dealing with people really that are slaves. They are slaves to their belief, and it's making them do these things which are just very ugly. It's just what's I don't know how to describe it, but it just shows how deeply affected people can be by you just questioning reality and what we're told to believe. Just asking people to question, or even maybe sometimes it's because you end up proving that we have been bamboozled, and nobody likes that. But so, we're talking about freeing yourself, and I think, most so-called flat earthers who are putting out videos are doing so because it's like, if you see a stranger getting mugged or robbed or being, basically lied to or convinced to join a cult, you want to help them out. And of course part of this process is also realizing and accepting that people will have their own paths, and there's not a lot you can do if someone is on a particular path. So there's also, there is acceptance, and that's also freedom. You're free then. And we go through this process. We might go through a bit of a vigilante thing and trying to hammer the point and bash people over the head with the flat earth and things like that, because we're trying to help, but it is kind of also based on ego. But ultimately you realize you become free of that frustration as well, because that in itself becomes you become irate, and you get trapped in a kind of in the arguments and things like that, A lot of the time, these people, these trolls, they just want to string you along. They just want to waste your time. They're energy vampires. They might even know that you're right. But those guys there are some real thickos out there, but there are also some very smart guys that know you're right, and that scares them. That's the thing. So they do everything they can to try and character assassination, and they want to destroy you personally. And of course, they might be well qualified, they might be professionals, and you always get this appeal to authority as well from people saying, all the scientists agree, and it's like, no, you're just blurting that out. And so this is the whole thing. By going through the process of questioning all this, you then become free. You become free of the gravity. You become free of this very fixed idea about who you are, where you are, and how you got here. And then you also become aligned with the realization that you do have a purpose. And I think that's the thing. We've been given this answer. We've been given the heliocentric globe model, the Big Bang story, and all that. Although it doesn't answer questions beyond the how and the why it all started, at least it gives some people some kind of feeling of, okay, I've got an answer. So that, of course, if it's fed to us when we're at a young age, then that kind of can make you feel like you're on some kind of stable ground, even though it's supposed to be a ball that's spinning 1,000 miles an hour. But at least it gives you an answer, and even though it's made up of all these stories. But then, of course, if you take that away from someone, if you say, no, if you point out all the contradictions with the model and the reality and just how it doesn't fit at all with reality, then they say, well, what's your explanation for this? Explain this, explain that. And they want you to give you all the answers. They want you to give them all the answers. But even if you do, they won't accept it. But that's the thing. There's the belief in the way things are from an early age, and then there's, well, if I'm going to give up that, you've got to give me something else to believe in. But that's the thing, you've got to go another step beyond that and understand and realize and accept and surrender to the fact that nobody knows. We don't know. And this, of course, is a very frightening concept, because suddenly you're alone at sea. You're just, where am I? You've got no idea. So then you're at this loose end, and so that's quite traumatic. But eventually, that's the thing. Only then, when you've detached from all of that, detached from the programming, detached from the culture, detached from the expectations, detached from all the suffering that goes with that, psychological and otherwise, then you are free you start exploring again, just like a kid. Yeah, you're free to have a look at the world with unprejudiced eyes, and you learn. It's a growth process, and as I said, it may be the whole reason, the whole purpose of our life, our existence on this plane, is to experience these things, experience the dichotomies, and then work your way out of the bag, punch your way out of this bag that we've been tied up in. Yeah. And the globe theory is just a paper bag it's easy to punch your way out of, but a lot of people will fight to stay in the bag, and they are not free. That's the thing. They are trapped in their delusion, and they are trapped in their identification with these beliefs, and it's very sad, and also at the same time, though, it's understandable, and that's why I just carry on doing this. And it's working. People are waking up. As well as the trolling, you do get some nice comments too. Just going to move forward. Yeah. So I'm at the school now. I'm going to pick up my kids. So I just wanted to take that quick opportunity. Let me just have a look at the chat. Just a second. Let me just say hi to Adam. Violet, hello. Yay, live. Okay. Just ask, hello. Flat stuff earth, hello. Well, oi beef, just saw a comment of yours on a 3-year-old video and gave it a heart. I don't know why I didn't in the first place, but it was thanks. 1:30 a.m. with you. Okay. All right. Well, a bit of sunshine wake you up. Inrem, hello, my man. All right, mate. Lily Lynn, hi. Lily, just to let you know, my wife is getting slightly better, I dare say, thanks to some TLC and stuff. So thank you for your previous advice there. And good morning, Johnny. It's the afternoon here. It's about 3 p.m., 3:30 p.m. here. Adam Barnett, hello. What's that? Flat? I can't read the rest of it. It's very bright here. They have upgraded it to Big Bangs. I was going to say, yeah, even if, the expanding universe is a load of tosh anyway, but I mean, you could also consider it as just breathing, or waves. If things are going away and, it doesn't mean that they became infinitely small. Again, it's one of those things, isn't it? It doesn't have to be a start and an end. It's just, it can be flow, it can be breath. Yeah. All of these things are possible. Is this Thailand? Yes, it is. It's Phuket, southern Thailand. What's that? Adam, if you're on a blue dot, I'm going to Pattaya soon. Oh, right, okay. Yeah, all right. Well, I'm further away. Pattaya's near Bangkok. I'm much further away. KG there. Carolina, South Carolina. Okay. Brisbane. Oh, wow, we got people all over the plane tuning in. That's fantastic. Yeah. Flat Earth. What's that? Flat Earth. I can't. Oh my goodness. I'm so sorry. It's difficult to see your names on this tiny screen. But Uncommon Sense. Hello, Adam. All right. Mark. What's this? They identify with their belief. This is UN Common Sense. They identify with their belief, which binds them to the fact that they are in a state of belief and not gnosis. Yeah, nicely said, man. Yeah, that's kind of yeah. Flat Stuff Earth. You're looking for new subs. You lost another one today. Well, go sub to Flat Stuff Earth if you can. Then. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Oh, well, thank you very much. Okay. Execrate, hello, my man. Yes, Lily, yes, you're right. It's a slow and painful process. Glad it started. It's a lifelong journey, isn't it? Yeah. Okay. Okay. All right, effed up world. What's that? Oh no, hang on. Awakening Soul, dear. Effed Up World is the perfect example of a Bible-thumping flat earthers who will never discuss anything else. Oh, okay. I mean, Effed Up World has some good stuff. Obviously, people have their different avenues, different things, and that's what's wonderful about all this, because no one is. I'm a bit of a jack of all trades myself, but there's everyone's got a little special. That's wonderful. We can all bring certain, you don't have to agree with everything everyone says or one particular person says. I was listening to David Icke just now, for example. I mean, a lot of what he says is old hat now. But it's still nice to listen to the guy. He's okay. He's putting his thing out there, but there's a limit, to exploration. Well, thank you very much, Fat Stuff. Okay. Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, it's been a while. It's nice to do these lives, and I made a video the other. I'm also publishing. What I'm doing is I am slowly putting a book together. I'm writing articles and I'm putting them on Patreon, and then I'll kind of edit them and boil them down to eventually make a book. So that's the way I'm kind of putting the book together, because I get these flashes of inspiration. But one thing I've what's really kind of become a lot clearer these days is how the whole globe model is put together in terms of basically converting everything into degrees. So I'm trying to kind of summarize that in my latest Patreon article. So I can't remember if I made it available to everyone, but anyone who wants to kind of pop along there, if you got $5, or I can't remember if it's pounds or dollars a month or something is the minimum. That's great if you can pop in there. We try to keep things going there and provide some resources, and that's in a way that encourages me to keep on pushing this. And it is all about staying focused on bringing this to the masses, as it were, helping people have an entry point and hopefully understand the psychology, not necessarily, I'm breaking down the science. Reverse engineering the globe is a very important aspect of it. And as I said, it's only become a lot clearer to me very recently just how it all fits together. It's very cleverly done. It's very simple. But it's also, it can be heavy going, but it's taken all these years to really kind of get comfortable with how that all works. And of course, you've got to tune into the language as well and kind of break that down. So that's always been my aim, and hopefully with a little bit of support we can keep on doing that. And obviously, the videos have been done in the past. There's ways we can kind of get the text into books as well, because it's great because also we have some collaboration sessions and people share ideas, and we can really kind of mull things over in that respect. So what's that, Billy Zig? They reverse engineered objectively. Yes, you're absolutely right. It's very simple, isn't it? That imaginary curve. The geometry of perspective is the imaginary curve. That's all it is. And who have we got there saying stay flat, Phuket? Yeah, anyway, listen, great to catch up. I've really got to go. My kid's going to be getting frantic now because I'm paying far too much attention to my other family. Yeah. So let's catch up soon. All right. Take care. And just keep on exploring this wonderful realm we find ourselves in. Okay, take care, speak soon. All right, cheers.